Avenger of God activated. The Avenger of God activated. The Avenger of God activated. Avenger steps through the wreckage, edges of heaven pressed in his chest, carrying weight of the nameless, stainless ache of the one suppressed. Every confession of pain he's gained remains in the strain of his breath. He walks with the haunted, bonded, and promised to honor the lost in their death. Children forgotten, trodden in shadows, swallowed by systems of greed. He pleads in the creed of the Most High's lead that none shall bleed. Unseen schemes that team and unseen regimes he redeems with righteous speed, feeding the need to free the seeds of dreams they try to impede. He feels the appeals concealed in veiled ordeals of the silence heart. Tears that appear in the quietest years still seal like a sharpened dart. Family shattered, battered, and scattered, praying for healing to start. He carries their scars and bars that spark the dark apart. Yeah. How many cries were denied? How many lives barely survived the night? How many times did the innocent climb through crime for a glimpse of light? Avenger enters the center, the mentor, the tender, and mend their plight, sending the message: you matter and I will fight. Matter and I will fight. You matter and I will fight. Matter and I will fight. I rise for the broken, I fight for the weak. I speak for the voiceless who couldn't speak. Avenger sworn until justice breathes. I bleed for the lost, and the lost believe. Here, he's driven by visions of children hidden in prisons of wicked intent. Systems afflicted, shifting addictions to fiction the vicious invent. Every lemon he sent is bent with spent resentment cement. Yet in his ascent he vents a gentleness heaven itself is lent. He feels their wounds like tunes attuned to gloom in harmonic waves. The weight of fate they faced engraved in caves of trauma they braved and paced and braved through days ablaze with blaze from graves unsaved, and raises praise for those betrayed whose names he's vowed and graved. He moves through ruins of truth, subdued by cruel pursuit, rooted in duty to beauty of purity, muted by violence is brute. Absolute resolve evolves as he solves the diluted dispute, uprooting polluted collusion concluded through moral reroute. He faces the agents of hatred created in state-related crime, crimes confined to dotted lines they designed to hide their spine. Time after time he climbs the signs that bind decline and rewinds the mind of mankind to shine divine by design. He walks beside the traumatized with eyes that empathize pain, recognizing the quiet cries disguised inside their strain. He takes their shame, reframes the blame, and breaks the chain, declaring their name reclaimed again in sovereign reign. If you've been hurt, if you've been used, if you've been silenced, broken, bruised, Avenger moves where truth was refused. Your story is sacred, your life is proof. His heart is forged in storms where norms deform the lives of the small. He answers the call of all who fall through the walls of a corrupt cabal. He stands enthralled in brawls where the lawless maul the defenseless thrall. Yet through it all his soul stands tall. He lifts them all. He hears the tears of years impaired by fear and smeared by lies. Hears mothers mutter their stuttered prayers under thunderous skies. He replies with the rise of light that flies through cries as tides revise, promising justice must suffice where malice dies.
Quiet compose in the shadows will fall. Quiet compose in the shadows will fall.
Avenger enters the vector sector, respecters of power convene. Schemes and obscene machine regimes that weave through unclean routines. Screens conceal the steel that reels and deals behind sealed latrine. Governments laundering slaughtered sons through funds they've never seen. Quiet caboose in the shadows, battle of fragile and trust. Rust on the crust of justice, dust the husks of those they crush. Plausible denial, spiral in trials, compiled in bile and hush. Vials of the vile, locked in aisles, exile from public rush. Covert networks, trafficking assets, facets of malice refined. Blind to the bind of the crimes they hide in the tide of a global grind. Pipeline crimes climb time's spine, aligned with sign designs. Children confined in iron binds, defined by tyrants combined. Subavenger storms and torching the forgeries forged in offshore vaults. Halted assaults exalted in cults that scope distorted defaults. Faults in democracy's policy wallow in oligarch holiday vaults. Follow the swallow of hollow sorrow bought by leaders at fault. Back channel shuttles funnel rebuttals through subtle corrupted exchange. Strange how the range of deranged power chains rearrange. Foreign campaigns sustain migraines in warlord domains with pain reigns. Flames that maim and unclaimed unnamed remains. Black sites strike like night, wrought fright and covered interrogation. Nations erasing traces of displaced faces in vague rotation. Coordinated placement stationed adjacent to covered administration. Fabricating narrations to safeguard the stake in global domination. Lobbyists wiring the hierarchies, bribery silently shifts. Gifts uplifted to rifts that drift in legislative splits. Bills get killed or filled or skilled with guilt for political clicks. Slick tricks clicked in scripts equipped to flip the grid of the sick. Propaganda, planners, slander, candor, and curated forecasts. Forecast master cast the vast mass fast in the contrast. Shadow actors fracture facts and track abstract bombast. Crafting the past to last while truth is shattered like glass. Cyber divisions, collision, encryption, and frictional static eruptions. Corrupt instructions, abduct construction of justice and abductions. Seduction of mass production, induction for mass destruction. Function, corruption, conjunctions run unpunished by obstruction. Subavenger cuts through the rules, diffuse, abuse, with views, decree. Moves through grooves of truth, removing wolves that bruise the free. He brews the view that spews right through the blue fuse. Hypocrisy spree, proving the Most High chose him to impose a close bloodline guarantee. He stands with hands enhanced by chance of transcendental will. Skill instilled to kill, to chill, instilled by tyrants who thrill to spill. He fills the field with shielded zeal, concealed and revealed uphill. Peeling the seal of concealed ordeals until the ordeal stands still. Subavengers call shakes walls of halls enthralled by lawless rule. Fueling renewal of truthful tools to school the cruel and fuel the duel. Cruelty's jewels he pulls from pools of fools who thought him mule. But the Avenger of the Most High brings justice absolute and cool. Subavenger fades in a thunderlit haze as the guilty tremble in his weight.
Subavenger fades into thunderlit haze as the guilty tremble in his